Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/comedy podcast network. Over 100,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
Everybody, and welcome to the Sports Podcast. I'm Joel Anderson.
I'm Jordan Pomaville.
And joining us, as always, is the sports outsider, Phil Ranta.
Hey, I'm here too.
Yes, you are, Phil, as always. You catch any games this week?
No, Joel, I didn't catch any games this week. What's that announcer character you're doing?
I don't know.
That's his actual voice.
It was
changing it up.
Podcast.
Very strange cadence. I could not march to that cadence. You couldn't be in Drumline. You could be in the movie Drumline.
Best drummer you got.
What?
That's from the movie Drumline.
I believe it. That
wanted-
sounds like
Best drummer you got.
I just wanted to know if you caught any games. And
Nope.
I'm trying to find a new way to ask you this, Phil, because
I did catch something that's similar to a game, though. I dug out Tecmo Super Bowl for the NES because we were talking about it on the podcast recently.
You were talking about it on the podcasts.
Yes.
Plural. You've been talking.
I am 4 games into a season. I'm playing with the 49ers. Joe Montana is my quarterback. Jerry Rice is one of my catchers. And
Catchers. Wide receivers. Wide receivers.
One of my receivers. And yeah, I won all of the games. More than 60 points.
Were they competitive? Or no, these were not competitive games.
No, they're competitive games.
Oh,
yeah.
they are.
I'm just really good at that game. I played it a lot growing up.
No, but I mean, like, are the games close? Are you just
No,
dominating the computer?
I'm just
That's what
dominating
I'm
them.
saying.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm gonna call this one a win. For Phil, this is a win.
Yeah,
You win.
Absolutely.
This
So,
is me
Sports
learning.
video games, I'm taking it.
real quick, what are some of the teams you beat so far? in your first 4
The
games?
first round I beat the Giants.
First game.
First game. the first week.
There you go.
Week one.
They I believe either won the Super Bowl that year or were really good that year because it's always
They
the
were
team
pretty
that
good.
wins
Lawrence
when you put on auto.
Taylor. This would have been like the '87.
Meggett was their runner that was always blowing me away.
Yes,
Meggett.
the
I don't
legendary
remember his
Dave
first name.
Meggett.
He was really good in the game.
He was fairly good for about 2 years.
Yeah.
But I think his legacy has been cemented by Tecmo Bowl, if nothing else.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I
he
forget
returned
the other
kicks.
teams.
He was like an okay running back for a short period of time.
Yeah. I think the Falcons was Vikings. One of those.
The Falcons or Vikings.
Yeah.
Often mistaken.
One of those. It was one of those that was another. They were purple.
Yeah.
But Vikings.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a win. I'm excited.
Yeah.
This is the most.
This is we're getting
I'm
some
learning.
This might be the most sports we've talked with you.
Yeah.
Why don't
podcast.
we're gonna continue?
How about them 1991 Giants, huh, guys?
Yeah,
They were a good team.
They were a good team. We're gonna continue tracking Phil's progress.
Yeah, I'll play a couple
It is
games a week
Tecmo
and I'll
Su-
drop
yeah,
in
it
with
is is Tecmo Super Bowl or Tecmo Bowl?
you. It's Tecmo Super Bowl.
For SNES?
No, for the NES.
NES,
Is
man.
that
Tecmo Super Bowl also came out for the SNES.
That's the
And
one
it
I
was good.
played.
It was very good.
Yeah.
And it came out for the Genesis, too.
But that was the one the kids just called Super.
Yeah.
Remember? Kids didn't call it SNES at the time. They just called it Super.
Nintendo.
Yeah.
It was Nintendo and Super.
Well,
Right.
yeah, at the time there was only Nintendo, so Super Nintendo was like, wow,
Yeah.
it's Nintendo but super.
Yes, I agree.
IOC drops wrestling from Olympic Games.
What?
Whoa.
Like
Yeah.
Greco-Roman wrestling?
Yes, and freestyle. In a surprise decision, the IOC dropped one of the oldest Olympic sports.
Yeah.
And perhaps oldest sports, period, from the 2020 Games. Freestyle and Greco-Roman events. It dates back to the first Olympics in 1896.
Why did they drop? That makes no sense they would
They
drop
needed to make more room for trampoline and synchronized diving
that.
events.
There's a trampoline Olympic
There's
event?
a Olympic event that is people jumping on trampolines and doing flips.
Well, basically, he said it's not a case of what's wrong with wrestling. It's a case of what's right with our 25 core sports. Now, in 2020, golf and rugby are being added, so one had to
Golf?
go.
Golf?
Yeah, right.
I'm not completely
Golf.
opposed to golf and rugby being
No, golf doesn't feel Olympic.
But wrestling is on one of those one of those sports in the Olympics, like running, swimming. They're very old human activities that
Yeah.
we've probably been doing since the dawn of time.
Yeah.
Also, the only time we ever care about wrestling is during the Olympics.
or
Whoa.
during SummerSlam.
Unless-
or WrestleMania.
Royal Rumble.
That's
Royal
not-
Rumble,
that's not-
A Way Out.
A Rage in the Cage.
None of these things are real wrestling, guys.
The decision was made by secret ballot over several rounds to ensure the safety of committee members from surprise entrances by Undertaker, Ryback, or Vince McMahon.
Feed me more. Feed me more.
It was voted. It was the one to go out of the final group. The finalists to get kicked off the island, as it were modern pentathlon, taekwondo, and field hockey.
Taekwondo's gone?
No. This was the boring final group.
Oh.
Modern pentathlon, which combines fencing, horse
Yeah.
riding, swimming, running, and shooting.
They kept the
Yeah.
modern pentathlon over
Taekwondo
wrestling.
and field
Or
hockey.
also known as Act 3 of bad movies about the poor guy going to a rich high school.
Yeah.
They had to. There was an IOC program commission report that analyzed 39 criteria, including television ratings, ticket sales, anti-doping policy, global participation, popularity, and sexual arousal.
Nice.
With no official rankings or recommendations contained in the report, the final decision was made by a 15-member board, which was also subject to political, emotional, and sentimental factors. The sexual arousal thing I talked about just a second ago.
Here's my problem with this.
Yeah.
I've got many problems, but here's my number one problem. A lot of people in high school, wrestling's a big sport.
Yeah.
College wrestling's a reasonably big sport.
Yeah.
All these people are training for something. What happens after college?
Now it's just college.
Yeah, usually it would be like you try to be in the Junior Olympics, then you try to be in the Olympics. Now it's just like, all right, now I can wrestle. Now what do? Beat my kids.
No, you go to like your redneck uncle's backyard wrestling thing.
Yeah, but then,
Again,
Right?
that's
Come on, you watch WWE.
yeah, Kurt Angle was
Not the same
was a
kind of
gold
wrestling,
medalist, but
guys.
most of the wrestlers in WWE are not Olympic wrestlers. Just Kurt Angle's. The
I
only
think
one
this sort of proves what I've been saying for years, which is that the people in the IOC are complete nimrods.
Whoa.
Well, wait. Well, hold up on that criticism, Joel, because wrestling will now join 7 other sports that are applying for inclusion in 2020. So now wrestling, having been kicked out of 2020, can now reapply.
Wow.
Now it faces some stiff competition. You got a
Yep.
combined bid from baseball and softball, karate, squash, a West Coast swing of roller sports, sport climbing, wakeboarding, and lastly,
Wakeboarding?
yep, these are all applying. And lastly, wushu, which is a full contact sport derived from Chinese martial arts.
Well, there goes my wushu weird sports segment.
Oh no!
Roller sports? It's
I can
seriously,
see squash. Squash makes sense
Yeah,
to me.
no wrestling in the Olympics. Like there has to come a point where the Olympics ceases to become self-parody. And
It's turning into the X Games. Why is my Olympics turning into the X Games?
no, it's turning into the point where the X Games really has more legitimacy as an athletic competition than the Olympics does.
Well, hold that rage just 1 second, Phil.
Okay.
Kevin Durant hates buzzer beaters.
What? No! Kevin Durant must die!
Phil has turned green. His shirt is split in several places.
No! Buzzer beaters are the greatest achievement in sports.
How could an NBA All-Star hate the second most exciting play in basketball to the
What?
majestic
Second?
slam dunk?
We
Second.
are not rehashing or arguing about sports, guys.
Well, he doesn't hate them per se. He hates taking them.
Oh.
Kevin Durant is the first NBA player to cop to something that people have suspected some NBA players have done for a long time, which was sometimes they'll make sure to hold the ball a second too long on a last-second half-court heave.
What?
So that it will not negatively impact their shooting percentage.
Oh, come on.
Now, Tim Hardaway apparently did this his whole career. Now, Kevin Durant says, it depends on what I'm shooting from the field. First quarter from 4 for 4, I let it go.
What?
Third quarter from like 10 for 16 or 10 for 17, I might let it go. But if I'm like 8 for 19, I'm going to go ahead and dribble one more second, let that buzzer go off, then throw it up there. So it depends on how the game's going.
He is not doing what's best for the team. He's a bad person. Buzzer beaters are the greatest thing
Is
ever.
he talking? So he's talking if his team is down 2 or 3 points.
I'm sure he takes the shot if that's
Yeah.
the case. Well,
He's just talking just generally.
well, here's the thing.
speaking.
At the end of every quarter, there's a chance for a buzzer beater. And the
Yes,
Oklahoma,
there is.
I see what you're saying.
The Oklahoma City Thunder coach apparently had to talk to his players into trying to score points, no matter how long the odds are.
What?
We talked about 7 weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago. We talked about it. Brooks said, "I said we have to shoot that shot. There's still time in the game. Shoot it." The only time we don't shoot is if we're up and it's the last second because you don't want to do that.
Yes, you do. Every time you have a chance to shoot the ball, right as that beautiful loud noise, swish. Oh, God, it feels good just thinking about it.
Now, right after this, someone interviewed the players and was like, this is the best part of the thing, is they talked to Eric Gaynier, one of the players. He said, yeah, he said something to us about that. He said, I be peeping some of y'all be doing that, but he knows me. I'm going to shoot it. Which, Brooks is a white man. If he said, I be peeping some of y'all doing that, I'm like, all right. Apparently, he has credibility with his players. 3 in 205 shots from beyond half court have gone in this season.
Of course. That's not bad. It's a long shot.
Which is still, yeah.
You want to take the shot. Now,
You know, it says something about the NBA that you have to sit your players down and have a talk with them about
a bunch of
trying
lazies.
to score points.
I am really upset. I'm like shaking right now.
I know for a fact this is something Rasheed Wallace practiced.
Yes.
A lot. And he actually made a couple. And again, they were meaningless
he
ones.
sent at least one game, I remember. It was a regular season game, but he sent one to OT by hitting from beyond half court.
Yeah. Shane Batty made an interesting point in an old interview. He said, every heave is a plus play, but unfortunately, we're not judged on plus plays. We're judged on shooting percentages. I think they should take the heave out of the stat book. It's common sense, making it more like a walk or a sacrifice in baseball.
Yeah.
Basically, if it goes in, it counts. If it doesn't, well, it wasn't like you were jacking up an ill-advised 3. You were just trying to put it up there.
Stop obsessing about your stats. And
Also,
start doing something for the fans.
How many of these shots are you going to throw up over the course of a season? Like, aren't we talking about like tenths of a percentage of your shooting percentage over? Maybe. Obviously, they're thinking about it, so maybe I'm just wrong about that. And
Well,
it's entirely possible,
I feel like
but-
NBA people don't obsess over stats the way, like, in baseball.
yeah.
There's a lot of things. But see, the thing is like that, in bat, you're up to bat, you're never not going to try to get a hit.
Yeah, it's a little different.
Yeah. Anyway, what do we got in the show today?
I'm an upset Phil.
All right, Phil, we're going to ask you to leave because we have Alex Smith, 49ers,
Yep.
backup quarterback.
He's already a little sensitive. We do not want you badgering him.
Don't know who that is.
All right, well, perfect, because I would like a burrito.
Oh, well, I might as well just go to the store like your personal servant that I am.
Thanks, appreciate it. We also, Joel, we have Guy Gaynier.
Yes, Guy Gaynier. We're gonna give him a call. He's obviously beaten up the path, following hockey teams all over Canada and the United States. NHL season back in the full swing, and our NHL expert is on the scene.
And he's on the road a ton because they're playing so many games.
They're playing a lot of games
in a short amount of time.
I have not gotten a hold of Guy so far this season, but I'm pretty sure that's because Guy's a hockey freak. He's got to be right in the thick of it.
Right. Well, we'll talk some most disliked athletes. There was a poll.
Ooh.
And USA Today came out with the most disliked athletes. And Phil, do we have a weird sport?
You goddamn right we do.
Let's get goddamn started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, this is exciting. This is a big get.
Yeah, this is a really big get.
This is our only
as
Super
big
Bowl.
as it was mid-season when we signed him on, but it's still pretty big.
Right, but this is the biggest. This is the only Super Bowl participant. And I'm using the term loosely, obviously.
Yeah.
He was at the game that we have. Is 49ers backup quarterback Alex Smith.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing there, Jordan? How you doing there, Jordan?
Hey,
Hey, how you doing there?
I'm good. Alex, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good now. I'm doing pretty good. I got a lot of things in my life don't figure it out now.
Did you have a stroke? Why are you talking
No,
like
I didn't
that?
have a stroke. This is how we talk in the Big Easy.
Are you?
This is how we talk down in the Bayou.
Wait,
Where we hunt gator.
Are you still there? Are you still in?
New Orleans?
Yeah, of course. I'm still living down there in New Orleans.
Because the team,
My new hometown.
2 weeks ago.
the Super Bowl's over.
Yeah.
The team left. The team got back in the plane. They came back.
Well, I'm not
You
looking
didn't actually-
backward and I'm not looking forward. I'm looking presentward there. Jordan and over there down there. Joe down over there down.
What are you doing in New Orleans then?
I've got a new job. I'm VIP level at Cajun Encounters. Yeah, it's way better than Cajun Pride Swamp Tours. Those guys are a couple of con artists.
I'm sorry.
That's right. I give Bayou tours.
You're giving Bayou tours right
In the
now?
swamp.
A lot of people, ever since they came out with that TV show down there called Swamp People, people got real interest in gators and swamps and po' boy sandwiches, which is essentially just fried seafood and mayonnaise.
That sounds delicious.
sounds
They really go down there, boy.
Alex,
They really go down there, boy.
Can I just go ahead and say, Alex, I've heard you speak before. That this is clearly an affected accent that you've put on. I know that you don't speak like this normally.
I don't know what you're talking about there, Joe.
Okay,
I'm just talking like a
No,
normal Cajun man.
No, I don't know what you're doing getting a new job. You were 6-2-1 in the regular season.
Yeah.
When you got injured against the Rams, you got a concussion. In that game, your last game, you were 18 for 19 and passes completed.
You were the highest rated passer through 10 weeks.
Yeah, I don't think you need a new job. I think you need to start thinking about maybe what your next move is. Do you think the 49ers are going to trade you? Do you think they'll release you and maybe you'll sign with another team?
Are you demanding a trade? Are you going to potentially hold out a camp if you don't get traded?
Well, this is what I'm thinking is going to be held in my future, Jordan.
Okay.
I think that come tomorrow, I'm going to be on a swamp boat, and I'm going to see all sorts of swamp shit, like gators and shit, and jumping fish, wild boars, crocodiles, land sharks,
Crocodiles and land sharks.
vines,
Well, yeah, I imagine there's a...
and a lot of creepy little shacks where people live with their kids and their wife and the kids they had with their kids.
Is it possible that you did not take being demoted from the starter position in San Francisco after playing this well? Like, did you maybe not take that particularly well, and that's part of the reason why you started doing this?
No, Joe, we all find new passions all the time if you keep your eyes open there. Did you know something? That if you reach too far out from the boat, the gators think your fingers are little hot dogs. They're going to chomp them all up. I wouldn't have learned that being quarterback for no 49ers teams in fancy San Francisco down there over in the West Coast with the city folk.
Well, speaking of city folk, you're due to make $8.5 million next year playing football.
No, I don't think I'm going to make that much on the swamp tour. We
No.
live a much more simple life over there, but it's good.
Unless the swamp tour business has
You should see how many
dramatically
crawdads I can eat, though. They're free. You can just dip your hand in the water, make sure there are no alligators around you.
that's-
You can pull out crawdaddy. You can eat them raw.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's healthy? Or
It's just crawdaddies and moonshine. Yeah, I make moonshine out of alligator pee.
I don't think that's moonshine.
It makes me feel a little loopy.
You know, the Cleveland Browns and the Kansas City Chiefs have been cited as the two most likely suitors for your talents.
They both
Do
need a
you know
quarterback.
that if you could throw marshmallows out from the gators are going to think they're food. They're going to eat them like candy.
Okay.
Yeah, they think they're little babies. They look at them little marshmallows and they say that there's some little human babies and they eat them all up.
I'm starting to wonder just about the accuracy of all of this swamp knowledge, too.
Did you know that during our swamp tour, we keep a small baby gator in a cooler right behind the captain's chair? And when the moment's right, we pass him around so you can touch a real-life gator. The kids love it even more than the parents do, Joe, by God.
That's...
Do you want a pole board, Joe?
No, I want you... We've
No.
seen interviews with you, Alex. What is...
You know, you've praised the Browns' new offensive coordinator, Norv Turner, in the past. Do you think your talents would fit in the Cleveland Browns system? Would you be open to a quarterback competition with Brandon Weeden?
Well, I don't know if I know nothing about no football or throwing the football.
You
there.
clearly know a lot of things about
Oh,
football,
what-
Alex.
Well, let me tell you, down in the swamp, the locals live a lot different than them fancy football players with their houses with doors on them, with their swimming pools without gators in them, with their wives with teeth.
If there's a swimming pool with a gator in it, that is not a swimming pool. That is a naturally occurring body of water, and you should not be.
Extremely aggravating.
No, I'm gonna go back to college so I can learn how to be a city folk. I'm gonna go to LSU and get my gator boat driving license.
That's actually an admirable goal.
Yeah.
I'm
Then I can be a boat tour captain like I am now by Don Bongon.
You know, I learned a lot. I know you're upset, Joel. I learned a lot in this interview, and I for one, congratulate you on your new course in life.
Would you
here.
mind if
I'm
I
not
gave a
gonna-
little plug here, Jordan?
Oh, absolutely.
Wait,
Please, be my
what,
guest.
What? We're gonna
Yeah.
All right. Well, make sure you sign up for the city tours as well if you want to see how the New Orleans city folk live down in the Mardi Gras Fair today down there. You can check out the cemetery tours where you can see a long lineage of all my ancestors buried down by the bayou. By God,
ancestors?
you can
They're
see
clearly
them
not.
plantation tours where we did them horrible things to those people in the past down there.
That's not-
Or you can see one of our combo tours with all of them combined, and you can save and still see the little baby alligator.
Okay, that's.
Thank you very much, Alex.
I wish I'd gone to get burritos.
Pleasure to be here.
Top most disliked athletes.
Boo.
That's a good drop.
Fuck you, dude.
Yeah, we started talking before the fuck you do drop.
So there was a nice poll, a Nielsen poll.
Oh, okay. That's
USA
nice.
Today published of the top 10 most disliked athletes.
This is according to the public.
According to the public, people were surveyed here.
Yeah.
Congress did not vote on this.
Congress did not vote on it. Typical of our Congress, in action again when it comes to disliked athletes.
We, the people, had to cover for their asses. Thanks, Obama.
You know, he actually put a disliked athletes bill to Congress. It's been dwelling in committee.
And while the Republicans and there's bipartisan support for a Kobe Bryant disliked athlete.
Well,
bill
they tried to put the required abortion rider on it, and it made it very hard to pass out of the House.
that required abortion rider kills almost all of the legislation.
Right. I don't know why Barack Obama keeps forcing it on every bill.
Number 10, Tony Romo.
Oh, delicious ribs.
Boy, 10
Asterisk
seems low
episode
for
1.
Tony Romo. I would have thought.
And more Dallas fans hate him than other fans have an opinion on him.
Yes.
Wow.
Tony Romo, I feel like it's interesting that he's as hated as he is because Tony Romo, pretty good quarterback.
I feel like the only people that actually hate him are Dallas fans every
Yeah.
other week and people who have had him on their fantasy football team. Which,
yeah,
by the
but
way,
even as a fantasy quarterback, I've had him. He's pretty good.
yeah, serviceable. Number 9, Kobe Bryant. Parenthetical
9.
rape.
Kobe Bryant is 9. Yes.
Do you think it would be higher?
Yes. Kobe Bryant. I raped someone. Bryant.
Yeah,
Kobe,
well,
I raped someone and got away with it. Bryant.
But he was married at the time.
Of course.
now
So he did.
I would actually like to use this time to read Kobe Bryant's statement after all of that,
Yep.
which is, I guess, kind of. It's not funny because it's not a funny situation, but it's
No.
funny in its doublespeak because basically he's saying, okay, I raped her in this.
Yeah.
Although I truly believe this encounter between us was consensual, I recognize now that she did not and does not view this incident in the same way I did.
Yeah.
That sounds like I raped somebody.
Yeah, that sounds like textbook definition of rape.
I thought it was consensual. Apparently she didn't.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually...
Guess what, Kobe? When defining rape, your opinion on whether or not it's consensual is totally irrelevant.
Number 8, Kyle Busch. I
don't know who that is.
I have no idea how Kyle Busch got there.
Is he a
Did Kyle
race car
Busch
driver?
rape someone?
No. I was gonna say I really wish I knew a NASCAR fan that I could ask about this.
Yeah.
Why Kyle Busch?
I have no.
Is he really
idea.
a race car driver?
Yeah.
I just said that because Bush is a brand of beer.
Good job.
Thank
Nailed
you.
it. Yeah. So apparently he's a jerk. Number 7, Michael Vick.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's been in the doghouse a long time now.
Yeah, but we should give him a new leash on life. Huh?
Yeah. I think
After reading this poll, he must have been a little hot under the collar. Did they write this poll down with a Sharpie? Huh? What?
maybe. Thank you, Phil.
You're welcome.
You got any more?
Nope.
Okay.
I keep them all stored up and I do them in short, fast bursts.
That was the email that I kept from you.
Yes, thank you.
Number 6, Alex Rodriguez. What's funny?
Wait,
is-
Alex Rodriguez, who lives here? Alex Rodriguez?
Yes, that's right. I
Oh
forgot
my
we were
God.
Still doing that.
Yeah.
You hate him?
Everyone hates him, Phil.
Why? Because he's expensive?
Him
Him and I made snow angels the other day, and it was magical.
Yes.
We
yes.
went up to Big Bear.
Yeah, you guys had a fantastic time at Big Bear. I hope
Yeah.
you enjoyed it, because we're paying him an awful lot of money. And incidentally, he's going to be suspended for the first 50 podcasts this year
Yay,
anyway.
more fun!
Because of his use of performance-enhancing drugs.
It should be noted this survey was taken before
Before.
the most recent PED allegations.
What happened?
There were more. No, he's already been connected to performance-enhancing drugs before, but there was another report that just came out. This poll was conducted before that.
Oh, man.
And he was still number 6.
Yeah, so last time he said it happened before. It's not going to happen again. I feel really terrible about it. I've made mistakes in the past, but I've corrected them. And everyone said, I don't know, you're still a douchebag.
Nah,
and
he's
that's why
fun.
he's number
harmless.
5. And
Leave him
no,
alone.
he's not.
Number 5, Meta World Peace.
Yeah.
Only NBA player who's an enforcer.
Yes.
Normally a hockey term.
Yeah, well, an enforcer for crowd discipline. You can't change your name to World Peace and expect me to change my opinion.
Number 4, Jay Cutler.
Wow.
Most respondents to this survey were his own offensive linemen.
He
That's
must
not
be
really
a real
fair.
bad guy then.
I just think that's, a little harsh on Jay Cutler.
I don't understand
Number
how Jay Cutler is that high. He's a pretty good quarterback.
Number 3, Tiger Woods. Although most survey respondents identified themselves as player haters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
All
And
right.
frankly, if you're a waitress at Friendly's, you must think he's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Number 2, and this is quite the jump. From unranked on the previous poll, Manti Te'o. But don't
How
worry.
is Manti Teo number 2?
No, it's because this poll was taken somewhat recently. He made the jump from unranked to number 2.
Wow.
Don't worry, you're a few years away from a Nielsen poll of 10 most forgotten athletes.
Yes.
So that's good news.
And frankly, I don't believe this poll ever existed anyways.
Oh! And number 1, say it with me now.
Kobe
Lance
Bryant.
Armstrong.
Oh.
We already
Wait.
said Kobe
Oh,
Bryant.
that's right. You already said it.
He was number 9.
Lance
We
Armstrong.
talked about rape. And
You know,
After everything he did for testicular cancer,
Yeah.
I had a little yellow bracelet. Someone gave me one.
I can understand why this is the case. Completely unfair. First of all, A-Rod.
A-Rod, Lance made a lot of people angry with the Oprah interview. He thought it was going to be rehabbing its image, but a lot of people's like, yeah, you are a dick, it turns out.
Yeah. Well, of course he's a dick.
I
All of these people are dicks. Are you telling me he's a bigger dick than Alex Rodriguez?
I don't know. I think when Alex Rodriguez talked to what's her name? I think Katie Couric, he actually came off as a sympathetic figure.
Wait, what? Really?
Yeah.
With his haircut and everything?
Oh, especially with the haircut.
Oh, Joel hates bad haircuts. He's very traditional. He likes
And-
it high
yeah.
and tight.
And LeBron James isn't even on this list. Come on, Lance Armstrong. This is ridiculous.
Poll's taken. Testicular cancer. Sheryl Crow. A lot of
Yeah,
Sheryl Crow
You know what?
fans.
You know what that is, folks?
Every
That's
day's
a
a
vote
winding road.
for cancer. Is what that is. Anybody who said Lance Armstrong is clearly pro-cancer. I'm drawing that line in the sand.
Most hated athletes.
Boo.
Hey, screw you, man.
All right, so this is good. We have on the phone now joining us to talk some NHL. We've kind of ignored the hockey, Phil.
Yeah, I know. I always ignore hockey.
Well, it's going to be a little harder now because we're going to be
Okay.
interviewing someone about hockey.
That's fine.
We'd like to have join us our NHL analyst, Guy Gaynier.
Hello?
Can you hear us, Guy?
Hello?
You're on speakerphone.
Hello? It's Guy Gagnier?
Yes.
Bonjour.
Oui, it's Guy. I am here to say that obviously the NHL lockout continues to be a terrible thing.
Well,
No hockey? It's
No,
terrible.
no, Guy.
Harry
No, what
Blair.
are you talking? They're playing hockey now. The season started. It's going to be a shortened season. They're playing a lot of games. You've been traveling, right? Following these teams. There's been a
Oui.
lot of games in a short period of
Oui,
time.
Guy is totally up to date on all of these things.
No, that's good because apparently we're going to talk to you about hockey for a while.
Yeah, I want to talk to
Oui,
you about.
Guy is totally prepared for these.
Want to talk to you a little bit about the Boston Bruins. How do you think they're starting out in their season? Start out pretty hot, right?
Oui, Boston very hot. Goalie Tim Thomas is oui, brilliant.
But no, Tim Thomas. He was traded to the New York Islanders, and they're doing terrible.
Oui.
All right, well, hey,
wait, there's a hockey team called the Islanders? That sounds pretty tropical.
they play on
Why,
Long
why
Island.
would you say
Oh,
tropical?
okay. No, it just sounds tropical.
No one's talking about tropical.
Okay, well, let's talk about the defending champion and our hometown Los Angeles Kings.
Oh, well, obviously, the Los Angeles Kings are the hottest team in hockey right now.
Well, no, actually, they've been kind of stumbling. They haven't been playing up to the level of hockey that we last saw them playing.
Oui, I mean, they are getting hot.
Oh, okay.
Hot like the... Yes, thank you. Here's your tip.
What was that? Guy?
Wait.
What was that?
Another.
I heard something over the phone.
Guy is in Toronto right now, following hockey. Maple Leafs.
Right. No, that's the team there. Okay. Well, let's talk a little bit about Calgary. Right. How do you think this big injury is going to affect him here?
Oh well, I mean, he's obviously a big injury, but with Mika Kiprasov in the nets, they'll be able to work their way through.
No, that's who's hurt. Mika Kiprasov, the goalie of the Calgary Flames. He's hurt. That's the injury they're dealing with. They're off to a.
But the symbolic presence of
Jordan,
Kiprasov.
I'm using my powers of deduction. May I run down exactly what I've gathered from this?
Absolutely.
First of all, we have Guy, who's supposed to be a hockey expert, and he doesn't appear to know anything about what's going on this hockey season. B, I think I hear some sort of beach noises in the background, something that would imply this is more of a tropical environment, not Canada like he says he's in. And C, Guy Gaynier, you're a liar. Admit it.
It is true. When the lockout began, I thought for sure they would not have a season. The sides were so far apart, and everyone is so stupid.
Ugh.
So I went to Bermuda, and I've been there ever since. And oh, it is so nice here. It is so beautiful. The beach, the sun, and
Well,
so
you're busted, Guy. Now
Yeah,
let's
man.
see
Assumed
who
that they
you
would-
really are.
there would be no season.
You have to take off your mask over the phone because I'm going to see who you really are.
No, I'm still Guy Gaynier. I have not seen any hockey games. I was unaware that they were playing again.
I've never had the powers of deduction before. And
I was gonna say, I'm
getting cocky.
I'm glad one of us had the power to deduce things because
Yeah.
I know I don't.
No, I've never had it in the past. I'm pretty happy with myself. I kind of want to go solve rape crimes like SVU.
How did you guys get this number? Sandals Resort in Bermuda.
So great.
Excellent.
It's probably the intern because
Yeah.
he does all of our bookings.
Yeah. Hey, A-Rod, did you get... How... Oh, yeah, A-Rod. A-Rod
I
knew.
hate that guy.
I
All right,
hate that
Guy.
guy so much.
Guy, I'm tremendously disappointed in you. This is a
I
huge
am
let.
sorry. Well, now that I know they are playing hockey again, I guess I return to Canada.
You know what? How about you just sit out this season? Stay in Bermuda. You're having a good time.
Thank you, Jordan. You are like a fresh baguette on July.
I don't know what that means.
On Bastille Day. All right. Thank you very much, Guy.
For you, the listeners of Sports Podcast, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. I personally recommend a wonderful book called The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. Joel saw the movie. He said that it was okay. To download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/comedy podcast network. Again, that's audibletrial.com/comedy podcast network for your free audiobook. And now it's time for another Weird Sports! Weird Sports.
Lay it on us.
This week's Weird Sport, land diving.
Oh, God.
Yeah, oh God, indeed.
This
That sounds like a dressed up version of falling.
is the AKA name spinal injuries?
Also known in some countries as oof.
No, actually, land diving is known in the local Sa language as gol, and as in Bislama as nangol,
Oh,
or
the
probably
local-
nangol.
Well, since we're so familiar with those languages, the region that it's in is obvious. to
Well,
both
yeah,
Jordan and I.
it's performed by the men of the southern part of Pentecost Island in Vanuatu.
Yes, exactly. Vanuatu being located in which hemisphere?
Well, they speak Sa and Bislama there.
Well,
Does that
yeah,
help?
yeah, obviously. So just for our viewers at home, where the hell is that?
I want to say it's by New Zealand. I want to say.
Is this weird sport a fake sport?
No, it is. I should
I
have
just
looked it
got
up.
off the phone with Guy Gaynier. Apparently, he has not been to a single hockey game.
I
yet
know
this
it's
season.
either Southeastern Asia or off the coast of Australia.
We've been hoaxed once today.
No. Okay. Well, maybe if I get into more detail, you guys will believe me.
All right.
Okay.
It's a precursor to bungee jumping. where men jump off wooden towers around 20 to 30 meters, or 68 to 98 feet high, with 2 tree vines wrapped around their ankles. Land diving is done without any safety equipment. The tradition has developed into a tourist attraction. According to the Guinness World Records, the G-force experienced by those at their lowest point of the dive is the greatest experienced in the non-industrialized world by humans.
Wow.
The whiplash coming from land diving.
Yeah, it seems like you watch bungee jumping and you think, oh, it's kind of springy and fun. It seems like if you did it with just a piece of rope, it would not be so fun. It would just...
I thought the most G-force experienced in the non-industrial world was with the tribal chief's daughter.
Oh! Find my G-force.
The G-force is a myth.
Well, yeah.
It doesn't really exist.
I agree. Well, let's get a little into the background, because this is the part that really drew me to this weird sport. The origin of land diving is described in a legend of a woman who was dissatisfied with her husband, Tamali, or some version of that name. It is sometimes claimed that the woman was upset that her husband was too vigorous regarding his sexual wants, so she ran into a forest. Her husband followed her, so she climbed a banyan tree. Tamali climbed after her, and so she tied lianas to her ankles and jumped and survived. Her husband jumped after her, but did not tie lianas to himself, which caused him to plummet and die. The men performed the original land diving so that they would not be tricked again.
So, spousal rape is occurring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The wife runs away,
Yep.
climbs up a tree.
Yeah.
Foolish move. Tamali can climb a tree.
Oh, duh.
He lives in a fucking jungle. He can climb a tree.
And he's a man, and this is a very misogynist story, so he's a man.
Yeah.
She jumps off the tree, wisely attaching vines to her feet so she does not die.
You say wisely, I say that it's womanly trickery.
And Tamali jumps after her, perhaps not noticing or not believing he needs vines.
I'm just gonna jump off this tree.
He dies.
Yeah, of course.
And now other men are in the village are like, fuck, okay, this could happen to any of us.
Yeah.
We really need to practice some vine safety.
Right.
And jump so we don't fuck this up
I
forever.
love that the moral of this story is, man, if you're raping your women, be smart about how you chase her while she runs away in fear.
Now, in fairness, it doesn't specifically say rape. It says she was dissatisfied with the vigorousness. It could have been consensual. And
That's
she was not
Wikipedia
enjoying-
speak for rape.
Well, no, that's dissatisfied with the frequency.
Yeah, but vigorousness sounds like he's being violent in the sack, and she's saying no.
Maybe
You're right.
Maybe
Okay,
they just
yeah,
beforehand they didn't go over limits.
Right. They
Or a
should have
safe
had
word.
a safety word like tleanok, because that's what all the words of this article sound like.
And also, in fairness, this is clearly not the sharpest tool in the shed.
No.
He jumped out of a tree just 'cause.
Yeah.
Even though, I mean, it's difficult to see how he would have seen his wife do it with vines and then opt not to do it with vines.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I understand that thought process.
You might be saying to yourself right now, this sounds a little backwoodsy. Sounds a little tribal, right?
No.
Not so.
Did not have that reaction.
Not so, because this ritual is performed during the annual yam harvest.
Oh, and the yam
And
harvest
what
is-
tribal society would have some big, flashy city thing going on like an annual yam harvest? And Bit loses steam. The villagers believe that that land diving can actually enhance the health and strength of the divers. A successful dive can remove the illness and physical problems associated with the wet season. They get a lot of disease during the wet season.
Is the wet season they describe when everyone's got diarrhea? Is that?
Oh, Joel, that's gross. Don't be crass.
Bathroom humor. Come on.
Yeah, seriously, we're better than that.
We'll bring
poopy,
A-Rod in.
poopy, fart. No, that's not in the article. No, but in the Sa language, gull refers to both the tower and the land dive. They jump off a tower. The tower symbolically represents a body with a head, shoulders, breast, belly, genitals, and knees. The diving platforms represent the penises, and the struts beneath them represent the vaginas.
Are you serious? Right
Yeah.
now?
No, I'm reading this directly
I'm
from the
having
article.
a lot of trouble envisioning what this looks like.
Okay, well, I'm going to break down exactly what it looks like. So they build this during the dry season. I'm going off book right now because I've actually studied this. They build it during the dry season. It's like a 100-foot tall thing made out of sticks, kind of like Lincoln logs, except they're sticks that are built horizontally and vertically that are stacked together.
Okay.
So it kind of looks like a big rickety stick pile.
Yeah.
In the shape of a person.
No, not really.
Like Burning Man.
There's parts of it that are representative of people, but it just looks like a big stick pile. Like there's shapes that are there.
And this is the thing that they're. I mean, because here's the thing: even if you are affixing, like everything about this is dangerous. You could give yourself too much vine and just hit the ground.
Oh, sure.
You're dropping and coming to a quick stop. That's just a ridiculous amount of force being exerted in your body. All sorts of terrible things could happen.
Everyone knows you shouldn't dive after eating yams.
Absolutely, you could cramp.
Right, totally.
But here's the thing: all of those dangers are also basically all working off the idea that you're affixing your vines when you jump to a reliable and sturdy platform.
Right.
Which it sounds like they're not doing.
Well, you can't see this at home, but I'm going to show Joel and Jordan an image.
Yes.
There's a YouTube video that I watched.
We're going to watch it. Why don't you listen to our audible reaction?
So there's one that was shot with a GoPro. It looks like GoPro probably sponsored this, but it's also been on a couple TV shows. Carl Pilkington's An Idiot Abroad is one of them. But as Jordan and Joel are now
Big
seeing,
stick
it looks
pile.
like a tall, rickety stick pile.
Tall,
Very tall.
Absolutely agree with that.
I don't know if they're going to show the dive in this video. I haven't pulled up the one, but it's in beautiful.
There's two guys sitting there at the ground at the bottom.
Yep.
People
There's
go
a
to
guy
MoMA.
at the top. He's
There
jumping.
he goes. He's jumping and didn't quite die.
Oh!
Yep.
He also, he
You
gave
hit the
himself
gr-
way too much fine.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the thing. You jump outward from the tower.
Right.
The vine pulls you back, and so when you hit the ground, you've lost a lot of your velocity.
Exactly. Yeah. You jump forward so that the spring back actually
But you
slows you down to go
you
back.
still hit the ground.
Absolutely.
Right. That's how you cure the diseases from the wet season, Joel.
A lot of disease
I
in the wet
did not
season.
think that people were hitting the ground in this. I thought, like bungee jumping, you were falling most of the
Oh,
way.
no,
and
This
stopping.
was a
That's
precursor
pussy
to
land
bungee
diving.
jumping, Joel.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and say I think bungee jumping is probably a significant evolution from land diving.
One would think.
I don't
Not
want to
true.
be culturally insensitive here. but-
Sounds like you are.
Yeah, I guess I am.
Well, the diver does cross his arms over his chest to prevent injury of the arms. And the head is tucked in so his shoulders can contact the ground.
Oh.
Therefore, the divers risk a number of injuries, such as broken neck or concussion, but they don't break their arms. So that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for boys, land diving is a rite of passage. After the boys are circumcised at the age of 7 or 8.
Oh!
The boys can participate in the ritual. When a boy is ready to become a man, he land dives in the presence of his elders. His mother holds a favorite childhood item, like a piece of cloth. That's the kind of items they have. After completing the dive, the item is thrown away, demonstrating the boy has become a man and is ready to take on an 8-year-old bride.
Guess what? I think if you get circumcised when you're 8, that's when you become a man.
Yeah.
I think that's I can imagine you'd be like, oh, what, you want me to jump off this platform? Sure. Not a big deal, because I still remember the time you guys cut skin off my penis.
Well, Joel, don't worry. Someday you'll become a man. And that brings us to an end of another Weird Sports!
Citizens of Podcast Land, that brings us to the end of another Sports
Sports.
podcast. Before we go, we'd like to give you our contact information with the thought in mind. Please let us know why Kyle Busch is a jerk.
Yes,
Yeah, we don't know.
please.
We'd like to know.
If you want, you can even tweet at us, hashtag Kyle Busch is a jerk. Let us know at sports3 podcast. But I'll get to that later. You can email us at sportspodcast@gmail.com. That's sportspodcast@gmail.com. You can tweet at us at sports3 podcast. That's at sports3 podcast. And please, hashtag Kyle Busch is a jerk. You can find us on Stitcher Radio. Download the Stitcher app today and search Sports Podcast. Download the Stitcher app. It's fun. You can find us on Facebook by searching Sports Podcast, your little top bar thingy. You can find us on YouTube by going to youtube.com/comedypodnet to see all of our episodes. And there you can comment and like it. I would appreciate all that. Subscribe, all that crap. You can find us on iTunes by searching Sports the Number 3 Space Podcast. That's Sports the Number 3, all one word, Space Podcast. Please rate and review while you're there. Or find all of our back episodes at comedypodcastnetwork.com.
Something just occurred to me.
What's that, Joel?
We pay for Gaynier's travel budget because he's supposed to be traveling for the podcast. Did anybody check any of those statements?
Well, A-Rod was the one
He
that
does
booked.
A-Rod was responsible for traveling.
A-Rod!
Hang on, I got the bill here. Jesus Christ! $13 for a Mai Tai?
Oh, can't afford
that's
that.
it. No, lights off.
You have received this transmission from the Comedy Podcast Network. For more shows, visit comedypodcastnetwork.com.